Let's have a trial. That is what former FBI Director James Comey is saying after his indictment, an indictment that shocked a lot of people, even though it shouldn't have, because President Trump came right out and said last weekend, I want this done.
Or else.
And he found someone to do it. The new acting U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, Lindsay Halligan, she went into the grand jury and made the case, and now there are 2 counts that Comey is facing, each of them with a maximum of 5 years.
Yes.
It's serious stuff, but he says he is ready to fight this battle. He says, I'm innocent, and I am going to have a trial.
And President Trump has just quadrupled down, saying he's one of the worst people in America, James Comey is.
So should we be people who are alarmed by this? What they find alarming is that the president seemingly told the Department of Justice, this is what I want done. And that's not the way it normally works.
Well, they're saying he is choosing targets. He is choosing James Comey. He is choosing Letitia James. He is choosing Adam Schiff and others.
It is a very open, I think the only way to describe it is weaponizing of the Department of Justice. So is that something we should fear, or is it just the way it's going to be now? Joining us to discuss that is Peter Navarro, who is special counselor to President Trump, and also the author of a very interesting book, which we're going to talk about. It's relevant to this. Peter, welcome to TMZ Live.
Good to be with you. And I went to prison, so you won't have to. It's quite germane. But I got to laugh. Yeah, it's like you guys are talking about the weaponization of justice system by the FBI. Hey, where you guys been for the last 8 years? I went to prison. Why? I had a misdemeanor, and the only thing I was guilty of is defending the constitutional separation of powers. Like for 50 years prior to me, the only person ever charged with this crime, the Department of Justice had said, not a crime. It was your duty to refuse a congressional subpoena because of what's called executive privilege.
But Peter, I agree with you that I think that the Biden administration and the Justice Department did weaponize the system. And I think when you look at the prosecutions of Trump for Stormy Daniels and what Alvin Bragg did, I happen to agree with you. But the response to it is put that weaponization on steroids, which is what Trump is doing.
Except, and also,
no.
on Inauguration
Point,
Day,
guys.
Peter, on Inauguration Day, the president said, I'm going to put an end to the lawfare, to the weaponization of the Department of Justice. He said that himself, and now is tweeting things saying, go get them.
No, but you're missing the big picture. How do you put an end to weaponized government, right? You don't turn the other cheek. This ain't New Testament time. You have to hold them accountable. The whole message of I went to prison so you won't have to is that if we don't hold these people accountable, they'll do it again. And Comey's just the tip of the iceberg. It's Clapper, it's Brennan, it's Page, it's Strzok,
but Peter, who makes the decision?
If you don't hold them accountable, guys, they're just going to do it again. That's the problem.
Who pulls the strings? Who pulls the levers of justice? Should it be
justice? Does there's no question about that.
But the president, justice. But the president did it. The president told Pam Bondi,
this did not come from
go after Comey. The president said, get rid of the U.S. attorney from the Northern District of Virginia. Eastern District, rather, brings in somebody who's had no experience in the criminal justice system so he can get his way. So are you really serving justice?
You can spin it that way, but at the end of the day, the question is, if the Democrats weaponize government against everybody I serve with, put me in prison, Bannon in prison for simply doing our duty. If they did that, which they did, if they broke the law with the Russia hoax, if they broke the law doing all the things they did to Trump people, then you have to hold them legally accountable for what they did. That's all we're doing here. And I'm telling you guys, please hear me on this. If they get power back again, they will do the same damn thing. If the House gets controlled by the Democrats in 2026, it's going to be impeachment for God knows what. And it's going to be subpoenas and everything that you can imagine is going to happen. And we don't want that. We don't want that. The whole lawfare concept is something that the Democrats have basically perfected. And it started. Look, I was with the boss back in 2016.
So you're fighting lawfare. So you're fighting lawfare by
Mike Flynn, Dan Scavino, Mark Meadows got subpoenas, spent millions of dollars. Flynn spent $7 million. Everybody I served with, guys.
I get it.
What's the incentive?
Hold on. We're not arguing.
No. Actually,
well, hold on. I just want to say, a lot of what you say, personally, I agree with. What I'm saying is the reaction to what you say was a misuse of the justice system is to misuse it even more.
No, we're using it the way it should be used. I mean, look, there's really serious issues.
But if you're using it the way it should be used,
serious. Let's have serious issues here. The guy who put me in leg eyes is a guy named Walter Giardini. He's an FBI agent. Now, why is he relevant to this discussion? Well, the original Russia hoax started with something called the Steele dossier. Now, you guys will agree with me because it's fact that the Steele dossier was paid for by the Clinton campaign. It was a piece of propaganda. It was fake. But this guy Giardina,
that's fact.
that is fact. That's fact. You guys,
there's a lot of evidence. You're right. There's a lot of evidence. Yeah, a lot of evidence. You're right.
That was a fake dossier. Please, let's agree on that fact. And so my point is that this FBI agent Giardina said it was real, and that set in motion the illegal FISA warrants, which took like Carter Page out. That begat Crossfire Hurricane, and it begat the whole kind of Russia hoax narrative, which was used as a form first of election interference in the 2016 election, and then as a way where they hope to take Donald Trump out. Now, how can you not want to crack down on the illegality?
I know you're saying that where I want to disagree with you is that, yes, maybe there were prosecutions against President Trump that should not have gone forward. January 6th absolutely should have gone forward. And Peter,
I agree with that.
That's what you went to prison for because you refused to testify. But that's what you went to prison for because you refused to testify about what happened on January 6th, right?
Yeah,
that's why you went to prison. That's why Steve Bannon was sentenced.
That wasn't it. I simply refused a subpoena.
Yeah,
and the
Congress
point is that for 50 years, the Department of Justice policy says that you don't do that. But let me ask you this. I mean, what do you think that was in Portland that was going on?
That wasn't an overthrow of the government. That wasn't an attempt.
Portland
wasn't. Portland and all the other cities were not an attempt to derail the peaceful transfer of power, which is what January 6th was.
Clearly.
Which makes it much different.
That's not clear. That's not clear.
It's really clear.
Come on, can't we agree on that?
Peter, can we? I want to just settle this with one thing. You had mentioned what would happen if the Democrats regain power.
Yes.
And it made me think, and I think there's a simple answer one way or the other here. Yeah. Will there be a presidential election with certainty in 2028? And will Donald Trump not try and stay in the White House after his term expires?
He's just trolling left. Come on, I've said, come on, you guys don't take the bait. You guys are too smart for that, okay? But the bigger issue
I'm actually maybe I'm not smart enough because I'm worried about it. I'm actually worried about it.
Well, don't worry about it. But here's what you should be worried about, and this is the problem. This whole weaponization of government and the attack on Trump people for the last 8 years. I mean, they tried to put Trump in prison, 4 different courts. They tried to kill him twice. I just lost a very good friend of mine, gentlemen, Charlie Kirk, to an assassination. And we here on the Trump side of the fence firmly believe that the aggression is aimed at us. We're not aiming it at them. And all we're trying to do is bring law and order back to this country in a way where people can be prosperous. You know, my job at the White House is simply to create blue-collar manufacturing jobs, people who work with their hands. I've been doing that, and we do it very well. But we're in a bad place with this lawfare, my friends, in this weaponization of government. And again, the principle here is simple. If you don't hold them accountable,
we're definitely in a bad place with the lawfare.
If you don't hold them accountable, they'll do it again.
All right. Well, Peter, thank you for joining us. As you mentioned, your book, I know in your your excitement. You knocked over the book. I will
I did,
give you
yeah.
the plug.
I've been
I
over
went to
and did it, but
prison,
I'm
so
too
you
old to
won't
bend
have
over
to.
like that for that in real time here. So
I went to prison, so you won't have to. A love and lawfare story in
here's my
Trump land.
There you go.
picture. There she is. She says she loved your show.
I've been watching you for years. Nice
All
to
right.
see you.
Well, thank you guys
Thank you,
very
Peter.
much. Thank you,
Pleasure talking
Peter.
to you guys. Anytime you want to chat, you just have Katie give me a call.
All
You
right.
got it. Thanks,
Will do.
Peter.